What up, HyperChange? Long time no talk. We're coming back. I'm scheming on Tesla stock. We have got so much to discuss. Robotaxi is just a couple weeks away. The company is planning to launch in Austin with 10 or 20 cars. Elon was just talking on TV saying they're planning to having 1,000 within a few months after that. So things are ramping up quickly here. I've been getting more and more hyped on Tesla. I kind of feel like the wave of haters and Elon being in the government and all that stuff is kind of moving behind us. We're moving on to this new phase of the company, which has been 10, who knows how many years plus in the making. The Robotaxi launch, this self-driving car service. I think this is going to be such a big deal. Not necessarily moving the needle financially for a few quarters, but it's bigger than that. I think that's the reason why the stock has been going up in value. I think investors are pricing in this Robotaxi and Cybercab business, and rightfully so. We're just weeks away from launch. The market's forward looking. If Tesla does this anything like they do their other businesses, we're talking a leaner, faster, Waymo's taken 16 years to get to 1,500 cars, 250 million in revenue, probably losing billions and billions of dollars. We don't know. Tesla, on the flip side, is probably going to take a fraction of that time to get to 1,500 cars, maybe just a year to get to the same amount that Waymo took 16 years. Just like Tesla does everything, I'm thinking it's going to be a very lean operation, very efficient, a lot more cash flow profitable. The costs for the Cybercab are a lot less than Waymo's. I don't want to get too bogged down with the comparison here, but the point is, and also I made this tweet that was like 1,500 Waymo's doing 250 million in revenue. Like, it's not going to take that many Tesla robotaxis for them to be doing huge amounts of revenue. And Elon retweeted it, which I thought was pretty cool, and honestly got me a little more bullish. I was like, damn, are we on the same scheme wave? Like, this is epic. So this is a big deal. And I did this little model of kind of estimating the revenue potential of the Cybercab. So I'll put this on the screen, 10 vehicles at $15 a ride, 15 minutes per ride, 20 rides a day. That's 300 minutes per driving per car out of 1,440 in the day. So just around 25% utilization of daily hours. We're looking at $1 million revenue run rate, but this can start to scale very, very quickly. As you can see, by end of Q4, and these are just rough estimates that I put together, not with Tesla or anything, just kind of like taking Elon Musk comments, scaling them back a little. I'm looking at 500 vehicles at $15 a ride, 15-minute rides, 35 rides a day. That's about 525 minutes a day driving, so still under 50% utilization. We'd be looking at 95 or about 100 million in annual revenue run rate. If we get to 3,000 cars, we're looking at 500 million plus in revenue run rate. So this quickly starts to be something that is going to accelerate Tesla's top line growth. And it's so important to note that this is just a fraction of what the end vision here. I mean, the potential is for millions of these vehicles. So you start to do the math on millions of vehicles. We're talking about Tesla being able to do hundreds of billions in revenue, if not more, just from this Cybercab business. Now, it's going to take a long time to get there. And I think anytime you're doing the impossible or sort of what's never been done before, creating a global network of self-driving cars, there's going to be unforeseen hiccups. Tesla's going to have to start by having a lot of supervisors monitoring these vehicles. The insurance costs are going to be high. I mean, if there is a hiccup in terms of a crash or anything like that, I mean, the car does something dumb, that goes viral in a video, people start questioning the safety of these, that could set the rollout back months, if not even more in a worst case scenario. So it's very important to understand that although the market is getting excited by the potential of Robotaxi, and so am I, it seems unfair to assume a perfectly flawless rollout will occur. But right now, it seems like all systems are go. I mean, not only do they seem to be really sticking to this June timeline, as I'm recording this, it's May 20th, 10, 11 days away from June. But they're also doubling down with Elon saying, we want like 1,000 of these on the road after a few months. So people this isn't just going to be some gimmick where there's only 10 or 20. There's many. And they're talking about expanding to San Francisco and Los Angeles after Austin. So the thing that has happened with Cybercab and my understanding of it, which has got me thinking that it's going to be very profitable, is one, I saw Ron Barron talk about how he expects Tesla profits to be booming, massive growth in, I don't know how long, but I'm assuming that he kind of schemes behind the scenes with Elon. And so for him to be excited about the potential of not only the growth of the business in terms of revenue, but in terms of these new product rollouts, but actually the profitability of the business, I mean, that to me signals that there's something we're not understanding or thinking about how profitable this robotaxi business is. Maybe they're writing off a bunch of it as CapEx with the investment. It's going to make the accounting look good. I mean, either way, Tesla's got 30, almost 40 billion in cash now. Maybe they should move a little more to Bitcoin. I don't know. But anyway, they have plenty of money to fund this rollout. And right now, Tesla's got 17 billion in trailing operating cash flow, 7 billion in trailing free cash flow. They have way too much money. They could easily fund this while still being a profitable company. So there's a lot. Basically, the biggest barrier now is how fast can they roll out this technology and get it to work. It's not a financial, it's not a funding thing. Waymo's constantly relying on external funding rounds, needing more money from Google. That this is kind of a different beast here. So this one idea that's been floating around X that I can't stop thinking about is that Tesla could use its cybercabs with Optimus to deliver packages. Maybe not even Optimus to start, but this idea that it's not just rides, but it's also moving around stuff, logistics. This gets you into competing with FedEx, with Amazon, with Uber Eats. They just brought on this guy from Chipotle to be on the board of directors who does a bunch of delivery orders. So Tesla, this Cybercab business is more of mobility as a service, more of rides as a service than just a robotaxi or taxi kind of business. So if they can have Optimus delivering packages out of the Tesla Cybercab, that changes the economics in such a fundamental way because the fixed cost of the car is already there. But now if you can find additional ways to maximize the revenue from it. Also, Tesla's cars are each like a supercomputer. So they can use the computing on those cars if they're not giving rides to do something, I don't know, generate queries for Grok or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to shake out. And I think it's going to start to be very slow at first. But so sure, you can assume that a lot of people are Tesla haters and they won't want to do this service. But the flip side of that is how many people are Tesla fans? How many people are planning to go to Austin just to ride around in this network? This is going to, the amount of demand for the robotaxi service, even if only 20% of America wants to even try it because it's this crazy new self-driving car by Elon Musk, that is enough to create a multi-trillion dollar business for Tesla in terms of market cap. Once you start riding it, I think it's going to become a part of your daily life. Like people will stop wanting to own a car, which is already kind of happening, but that's only going to accelerate. So I think the amount of attention, the amount of marketing, the amount of hype that comes along with Elon Musk launching this self-driving car that people have been waiting a decade for. I know so many people personally who are just flying to Austin to just be there for the launch. It's honestly the biggest problem with the rollout now is so many people are going to be trying to use the app when it launches. It's going to get overwhelmed. It's going to have overwhelming demand. So, it's kind of exciting to think about that perspective and then how many people who aren't riding in the robotaxis get FOMO. The idea of reinventing, this is why I love Tesla. It's not just the self-driving car. It's not just the technology that's amazing. The products are really art. The Cybercab, it has this, first of all, they don't even paint it as this new crazy technology where they inject the color into the panels. That's insane. Plus, it's an homage to the taxi. I lived in New York for 10 years. The idea you wave down a cab, it's like a new form of transportation that only exists in New York City. And it's so iconic. So Tesla, if you listen to how they designed it, shout out to Franz, the epic designer for Tesla, futuristic reinvention of a pillar of society that's part nostalgia, but now we're reinventing it for the future. And so I think this is going to hit a lot harder than a funky, clunky Waymo that's a Jaguar with a LiDAR. This is really going to look and feel like the future. And it's hard to quantify how big of an impact that's going to have on society and the zeitgeist, but I can just see it being the coolest thing to do in the world is ride around your Tesla robotaxi. And it's just going to, so they're not launching it with the Cybercab. They're going to launch it with the Model Y, I believe, but that's coming. That's coming so soon. We're already halfway through 2025. 2026 is coming up. I'm very bullish on Tesla and this rollout. The Optimus, shifting gears a little to Optimus, they're already producing thousands of these this year. I've been thinking about, there's a little inside baseball here, but just to give you a flavor for how big, I'm scheming on different ways to use Optimus in my daily life nonstop, just invested in some land for the first time. I'm wait, there's going to be so much more ways to utilize this land if I have a robot that could farm it for me, that could build stuff for me, that could take care of it for me. So I think the derivative impacts, they always say that Tesla's Optimus robot is going to disrupt the cost of human labor, or that's the addressable market for Optimus is all of human labor, which is, whatever trillions. But Just like when Apple came out with the smartphone, that changed what the phone was. That was like a 10x bigger market than the phones that existed. I think Optimus is going to do something very similar to human labor. It won't just replace human labor. It'll expand demand for human labor. There's so many people like me who have so many schemes of ways to leverage this humanoid robot who would never think about doing it if they had to deal with humans and the bureaucracy and just the headache that went along with that. So it is a bit of a weird world to think we're going to be walking and driving around with robots everywhere doing all this stuff, but that is coming whether we like it or not. And I, for one, feel like a lot better that it's like an American company building it with a product. I mean, who brought us the electric car. I think Tesla's generated so much goodwill and trust, rightfully so, and just for building amazing world-class products right here in America and being an American brand that elevates, that puts safety on a pedestal, puts sustainability on a pedestal, puts usability and innovation and design and artfulness, and it wraps that all into one. And I think that's a really beautiful way for this humanoid robot to come into existence. So I don't know if that'll generate revenue in the near term. They say they want to start selling the Optimus robot next year, but I'm a little bit more skeptical of that because I don't know, it's just such a crazy different product. But on the flip side, when Optimus was launched, I believe it was not supposed to generate revenue or start selling till 2027. So, and then that was already like crazy ambitious, but now it's maybe ahead of that schedule. So I don't know, when I wrap all this together and really think about it, it's, you know, Tesla at 100 billion in trailing revenue or so right now, you know, 17 billion in trailing cash flow, worth $1 trillion. That's what, 55 times operating cash flow. I mean, it doesn't look cheap, and it's definitely pricing in some of these innovations, but I love ideas where you can't put a cap on it. Like, you can't think of the top of the potential because it's so big. Like, the Cybercab and Optimus will fundamentally transform society. So I can put numbers on this all day if I want to. You know, you'll see people like ARK Invest, Ron Barron, you know, they'll put numbers, trillions of how many trillions are we putting on this thing? I mean, it's tough to know. But I think the idea that a 10 to $20 trillion opportunity is out there, Tesla's worth $1 trillion. I mean, Elon Musk seems more motivated than ever. We're kind of through the very, very controversial part of Doge. I mean, I'm hesitant to be super optimistic, but I'm feeling very, very optimistic. And so I'm unbelievably excited for this next chapter in Tesla. And I think it's been, the Cybercab is in many ways their pièce de résistance. This has been what Tesla's been working on its entire life, to create a car that's 10 times more sustainable in terms of mile per gallon equivalent. And you combine that with the utilization rates. I mean, it's going to be 10 times less emissions than what the traditional vehicle industry was before Tesla, maybe more. Then you talk about a 10x improvement on safety. You talk about a 10x improvement in cost. This is a three orders of magnitude better disruption. I mean, I can't think of another product like that. So, and in many ways, Tesla's whole history and whole selling cars and everything has been a Trojan horse to this autonomous vehicle moment, and now it's finally here. And so it's like the book is opening to a new chapter in Tesla's history, and we're all kind of at the edge of our seats waiting for it to happen. The only thing I know about Tesla is that I know Elon and his team of engineers are scheming something that I haven't thought of. Like, there's going to be ways to monetize this and create this into an incredible business that we've never even dreamed of that are going to come out as this sort of evolves. So that is what's got me super duper excited. You know, I'm fired up, and I know I made the video a couple months ago. I sold 10% of my Tesla stock. I got, you know, a bunch of comments and support or whatever from that, which appreciate, but also like, I didn't want people to misinterpret that I'm still as bullish as ever on the company. So I'll even tell you how many shares I have, because I bought back. I tried to buy back as many as I could, honestly, because I had FOMO, but you know, it's like life expenses, that kind of thing. But you know, I had like 2,000 shares, sold it to like 1,800. Now I'm back to 1,892. So I figure if you're watching this part of my video, I don't care. I'll let you know that, you know, and that's like pretty much the bulk, you know, of my money in the stock market. That's like pretty much the only stock I own. My other biggest position is SpaceX and Bitcoin. So pretty all invested in the Elon empire. That's just where I'm at with it. And I feel like, you know, a little embarrassed that, you know, I sold a little, but I kind of had to for my personal situation. But even then, just like getting the haters and skeptics and news cycle, letting that get to you is just doesn't feel good. And that's something that I've lived through so long as a Tesla investor now, you know, since 2012. How many cycles have I seen? How much hate have I seen of Tesla's going to fail? This is the end. This is the end. And the news cycle always passes. The truth always wins out at the end of the day. The best products are going to speak for themselves. And Tesla's done this with basically still to this day, almost no marketing, just building amazing products. They've had the best selling car in the world be the Model Y electric car, I think for almost 2 years in a row now, or at least 1 year. I mean, that was unprecedented. So I don't know. I'm still as bullish on Tesla as I've ever been, and kind of even more bullish now. And I would say my FOMO is my FOMO for wanting more, even though it's like my biggest investment position, my FOMO for wanting more is high. So anyway, this is HyperChange. Love to see y'all in the comments. Let me know what you think. And can't wait to start making more videos back from vacation. So hope y'all are doing well. Peace.